Hey, you guys doing NoFap Day 4 of 90. Hope you guys are out there busting them nuts. Because I know it's been about 4 days for me. And we're going pretty strong. Yep. So yeah, I just got back from kickboxing class. That was pretty fun. So it was still the same old regular day. Just went to work and that was it. That was pretty much it. One thing I realized, having been addicted to porn for such a long time, is that a lot of times, a lot of times I tend to be in my head a lot about small things, which I know if I wasn't addicted to porn, I wouldn't be, especially pertaining to women. Like over the years, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a Idris Elba or anything like that, but I've had a decent amount of looks from women, and I don't mean like they look at me and say, "Oh, he looks like Idris Elba." You know what I mean? Like, you know how when the woman looks at you and she's like attracted to you, and how sometimes they'll smile. You know how they smile, you can tell when the woman is attracted to you. And a lot of times, even going back years, playing this porn game, I noticed that a lot of times I put my head and overthinking it, and a lot of time, and the majority of that is putting the women on the pedestal, which ends up because I'm already naturally hyper as it is, and because of the guilt and the shame of porn addiction, it makes me more anxious into my head, and I end up messing up a lot of the interactions. So that's one thing I think it's because of the guilt and the shame that comes with porn addiction. A lot of times we don't think we're enough, or we don't think that we don't think that we're confident enough, or that we don't think that we're good enough for women in general. And so that's why if you attempt to talk to a woman, it's like it feels kind of awkward and things like that. So that's one thing I realized is like. And also because obviously if you're masturbating every night, or sometimes multiple times a day, you're gonna be your energy naturally is gonna be zapped, and you're not gonna have that natural sort of connection and polarity when you're talking to women, especially women that you're attracted to. So that's why when you get those long streaks in, you start to kind of. Especially when you're getting some good habits and routines in, you sort of naturally feel better about yourself and naturally increase your self-esteem. So that's why naturally you start to overthink less and less, and you're more in the moment. But even going back for me years, even going back to college days, I've missed out on a lot of opportunities just by overthinking. And unfortunately, we can't get those opportunities back. And that's the thing about porn, you can literally be addicted for years and just waste your entire life away, and not even like, and not even realize that you just wasted years of your life because of dealing with porn addiction. So that's one thing I realized. Taking action is really the most important thing. Not like I'm speaking from experience, but when you take that action, especially when you're nervous, like as they say, pressure versus pipes and all that stuff like that. When you're nervous, that's the best time to improve yourself, because you're in your head, you don't feel like doing it, you're deep into anxiety, and you just want to turn around and run away. But if you actually stay there and just feel a little bit uncomfortable and act despite how you feel, that's how you start to grow as a person. And I know for a fact, say I get to a month without watching porn or masturbating, especially if I'm not fantasizing at night, or just really putting the gasoline on that porn energy. Not quite. It just naturally your body and your disposition and your posture is going to change, but you can't. That's obviously every guy is different, and you can be a guy that watches a lot of porn and still talk to women. And of course, every guy is different. But if you started watching porn when you were 12, 13 years old, and you continued up into your early 20s, late 20s, late 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, all that stuff went on up, your motivation, your confidence is going to naturally go down, lower and lower and lower. And eventually, especially if you haven't approached a woman at all, dinner to date, things like that, it's gonna become much, much harder. And that's one thing I realized, like, life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you continue to stay in your head and don't take this addiction serious, like I haven't been doing, you can definitely end up like me and having a lot of missed opportunities in life. And that's one thing that can hurt if you let it get to you and you think about it way too much. You can realize, like, wow, I literally wasted years of my life because of fear. Especially when, for example, pertaining to women, especially if you can tell that woman is kind of interested. Now, she may not, who knows, you guys probably may not get married or anything like that, but if you can tell that, when you're talking with a woman, that she's kind of interested in you, but you don't take the action because you're in your head, because you're deep in anxiety, and also because you have porn at home, so you don't have to risk rejection, that's going to continue to add to the addiction, which makes it harder to quit. And so that's one thing I realized with abstaining from porn, the more you do it and the more you abstain, it's like the less you in your head and the more risk you're willing to take. Obviously, just because you're not watching porn and masturbating, it's not going to take away completely your anxiety, but that's what it's all about, just taking that action. And so that's one thing I have to get better at, especially if women are already if y'all are making it easier for you to talk to them, why make it harder for yourself by staying in your head and not taking action? Because it becomes a revolving door of anxiety, which if you don't get over it and this addiction, we can end up being 30, 35, 40, not having even going on a date. And that's when it kind of, I'm not gonna say it's over, but that's when it's really hard to come over, because when you at that age, not having a lot of relationship experience, it's really hard to attract women if you never. It's just bad. It's all bad. But that's all for that. What do you guys comment on it? If you guys having a good day. See you guys tomorrow, and y'all don't be out there relapsing.